Hey there, Bible buddies. I've got another review for you today, and this one is a review of Be Thou My Vision, a liturgy for daily worship by Jonathan Gibson. So I must confess to you all that I am Reformed, so when it comes to any sort of liturgy or anything like that, your boy is completely clueless. I have no idea. Typically the majority of my Bible studying is just like reading the Bible, and then maybe some commentaries. I have like a Bible dictionary that I refer to on occasion. I need to do a review on it because it's actually a very nice Bible dictionary. I love it. But usually commentaries and then, like study Bibles and that sort of thing that are kind of specific to, kind of Reformed doctrine and theology. So this sort of thing is kind of outside my wheelhouse. So if you're looking for like a specific breakdown of everything that's inside of it, this is not going to be your review. If you're just looking for like a very topical kind of quick flyby, I'm your man. So let's go ahead and take a look at the outside, right? And we'll get into the inside eventually. So this edition is oh goodness, I think it was I'm going to put a link for it down below, but I think it was a Westminster Bookstore exclusive, which is a bookstore that predominantly sells ESV texts. Every once in a while they do like an exclusive edition. And this particular edition, Crossway does sell in if I remember correctly, I think it's like a simulated leather, but the Westminster version is an actual leather. So it's kind of a nicer edition than kind of the standard that you would get on Crossway or something like that. So again, I'll post a link down below if it's something that interests you. But yeah, let's get started taking a look at the outside here. And it does come in a very nice thick box. Like really chunky box. I guess this is technically like a slipcase, right? Because you slide the Bible into there. But you have this very nice kind of design pattern, almost like a Celtic or a Celtic design with some filigree there on the edge. And then kind of the name of it. And it's just kind of a matte green with a gold on it. Very nicely designed. And then on the spine of the box, we have some more those floral designs and then Crossway's logo on the bottom. Some more information, the ISBN there. And then on the back. And I'll pause it. Hopefully you guys can see that, man. It doesn't look very visible at all in the viewfinder here. But hopefully you guys can see it. Or pause it at least. But it does have quite a bit of information on it. I just kind of thumbed through it real quickly here before I started recording this video, and I kind of was reading a little bit here and there. But again, we'll just do kind of a topical flyby. So it is a leather cover, and it is a very nice brown leather cover. It's very nice and thick. It's very soft. It's not very flexible just because of the construction. It's a paste down, but still nonetheless a very nice addition. So if this is something that's kind of up your alley, this would be what you'd want to invest in, I guess, for longevity's sake. But it's a nice kind of light brown leather cover there. You can see the grain, very fine grain, somewhat smooth. You can kind of feel a little bit of the grain there. And it does have the nice perimeter liner on the edge of the perimeter stitching. On the spine, we have Be Thou My Vision. And then we have the little kind of emblem from the cover there, that same kind of design element. You have Gibson and then Crossway's logo. And there are some nicely raised hubs, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And you can see that they do pop up quite nicely there, right? On the back, it's just more of that same grain. And the perimeter stitching, all that jazz. As far as exterior features go, we have 3 ribbons. We'll take a look at those in a second. There is no page edge gilt. It's just kind of the bare page there. I was thinking I might art gilt it, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. As far as the ribbons go, they are single-sided satin, I believe. Yeah, single-sided satin. And you have 3 of them. You have like a very pale gold there, kind of a more like a burgundy or a wine color, and then kind of like a forest green or something like that. And the head and tail bands, I believe, are green, like a deep green, like another forest green. For the head and tail bands, but nice enough ribbons. Certainly Crossway, tends to kind of go cheap on the ribbons, but these aren't half bad, and I like kind of the color coordination there, at least the variety of color, so not too shabby. As far as the liner is concerned, like I said, it is a paste down liner, and it's just going to be a brown synthetic paste down liner. It does kind of mimic leather a little bit. It's got like kind of a faux grain stamped onto it, and I'll show you the corner work there. Nothing too crazy. It's kind of popping up there. You can see the little kind of a gap there, but it is what it is. I would imagine I'm probably going to read through this once, or I don't know, maybe a couple times. I don't know. So some of this stuff, I don't know how much I'll circle back to it, but certainly I'll read through it once. God willing, if he gives me enough time to actually sit down and read through it, then I shall read through it. But I'm kind of excited to read through it because I've heard good things about it. So as we get into the text, it's just kind of the end sheet there, and then it gets right into it with a little kind of a brief description about it. Or actually, these are some kind of reviews of it. Some reviews, I guess would be the word, yeah. Some peer reviews, right? Some little quotations of peer reviews. Ooh, and it's going on quite a bit. Okay, and then you have your first title page, Be Thou My Vision, and then you have your second title page, Be Thou My Vision, a liturgy for daily worship. Jonathan Gibson and Crossway there. And then we have our copyright page, and I'll let you guys see that. And it was printed by R. Donnelly and Sons, and it looks like it was the second printing of 2022. And then there's a little kind of quote there from Augustine, or Augustine, I guess, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I'm not going to flip through like everything because they're all pretty unique, at least as far as from what I could tell. You know, every daily devotional is a little bit different, or liturgy, or liturgy/daily worship. I don't know, whatever it is, whatever the specific terms are called. They're all kind of different from day to day, but we'll kind of take a look at a couple of them. And then there's a little dedication in your table of contents. And then your preface, your acknowledgements, and then part 1, daily worship in Scripture. All right, so here it's got like a little bit of an article kind of going for you. And then it gets into it, kind of the more specific. And this is kind of the typical layout that you're going to see, right? So it's giving you kind of an explanation here of everything. Actually, I'll show this part to you guys so you can read it. And this will give you kind of a little bit of information. Feel free to pause it. It'll kind of give you a little bit of information about kind of how the standard kind of layout is and functions. Because certainly this is going to do a much better job than I can at explaining it. And if any of you feel like explaining it to me down in the comments, I will actually read the comments, so you can go for it. I'll sit down and read them and try and make sense of all this. All right, part 2, daily practice and worship. Part 2, daily worship and practice. Goodness. All right, so the way that this works is you have 31 days, and it kind of goes through kind of similar kind of steps. There's a little bit of variety between each. But I guess I'll show you this one. So this one starts with the call to worship, and you have a little psalm reading there, and then you have an adoration with a doxology there, and then you have your reading of the law. So it's an Old Testament, well, not an Old Testament reading in that sense, but a reading of the law, right? So some kind of rules to live by. Then you have your confession of sin, and your assurance of pardon there. And then usually you have a little section from the creeds as well. Sometimes it's the Nicene Creed, sometimes it's, the Apostles' Creed, and it just kind of varies from day to day. And your praise section. And then you have a catechism section, but it tells you to refer to a particular appendix in the back, and I'll show you guys those. And then a prayer for illumination. On the back side of that, the prayer is continued. And then you have your scripture reading, and a prayer of intercession. And then your further petition for other areas that need it. And then the Lord's Prayer in closing. So again, it kind of follows that same pattern for each day. And like I said, there's 31 days, and you can kind of reuse it over and over again. And it does kind of give you a few kind of helps to aid with that as well. And not just reading this, but also reading other kind of, biblical areas of interest, I guess. Well, I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So we get to the end, or at least the end of the section, day 30. And we'll stop at day 31 and we'll take a look at the paper while we're here. It's a very nice paper, very thick. It reminds me of you can kind of see a little bit of show through, but it's not very much at all. And the paper is fairly yellow. Let me get a clean sheet of white paper here and I'll compare it for you guys. So it's got a slight yellow hue to it versus, a white paper. If you guys have the edition of the Psalms from Crossway, or there was one other one they did. It was like a Psalms devotional. I did a review of it, I think, on this channel. I'm not sure. I don't even remember now. It's been so many. But it has that same kind of paper, that same nice thick paper. It's a very lovely paper for reading off of. I personally enjoy something with a little bit of yellow hue, so this is nice to me. And certainly the red accents aid a lot in kind of that, just the look and feel of it all. All right, now then you get to the appendices. Appendices. It's pronouncing everything today. Okay, and then so your appendix 1 is musical tunes for doxology and Gloria Patri, 2 versions it gives you there. And then it gets into appendix 2. In appendix 2, you have the Heidelberg Catechism and then the Westminster Shorter Catechism. So you'll have your Heidelberg Catechism there for all 52 of the Lord's days throughout the year. So you basically go through it, every Lord's Day throughout the year. And then you get to the 52nd Lord's Day, and it's done. And then it starts over on the next one, the Westminster shorter catechism. So you have all your questions and answers. And it's quite a significant Q&A there. And then Appendices, the third one is the M'Cheyne Bible reading plan. So you can really use this as a full year supplement, right? Because you have your M'Cheyne reading plan here that you can use to read through the whole Bible in a year, and then you also have your 52 weeks of the year to go off of, and then you have I would imagine you just reuse the kind of the monthly portion as needed, or every month. So we'll take a look at the M'Cheyne plan. I thought that was very nice that they included this. It's super helpful. So you just have like the printout M'Cheyne plan. I know you guys can find this online, but it's just nice to have it here for like quick access, so you can see your 4 readings throughout the day. So super cool. Actually, one thing that I want to check is February. Yeah, they only go to the 28th. Awesome. They don't do the 29th day. So they give you like a little day for catch up. So this is the beginning, you might fall behind. Don't worry about something else. And then after you get done with the M'Cheyne reading plan, you have your 4th appendix there, and you have your collects from the Book of Common Prayer. And it's just kind of a little mix there. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you see the little sections there. For Appendix 5, you have your author and liturgy index, and this just kind of explains, obviously it's an index. It just kind of tells you where everything came from, right? And gives a little background on each. So interesting. I mean, it's an interesting read. I'm certainly excited to get into it. So then at the end, that wraps up, and then you have just 1, 2, 3 sheets of extra Bible paper there, or extra just paper, not really Bible paper. Then you have your end sheet, and that's it. So not too shabby. Again, I'm really excited to get into this, so I'm not sure when I'm going to get into it. It'd be great to maybe start off the year with this coming year, but I really got to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm kind of like in the middle of, how you start, you kind of like start reading here, you start reading here, you start doing this project, you start doing that. So I have like 3 or 4 open Bible projects right now, and they're all kind of suffering because I have so many open. So I think I just need to kind of focus and pare down what exactly I'm going to be reading for the year. So I'm not too sure yet what I'm going to be reading. I would love to get through the Bible in a year, if not even shorter. Like I know some people do 3 months, and that would be super, super cool. But maybe I'll try and work this in. We'll see. We'll see what life throws at me. All right. So we'll go ahead and get some measurements. And it comes in at 8 3/8 of an inch tall by 5 and 5 inches wide by right at an inch, just over an inch thick. So not too crazy of a size, about a hand-sized Bible. Go ahead and get a text measurement here for you guys, just on the main portion. And look at the uppercase N here and measure. It's a pretty good size. About a 10-point font versus Times New Roman. And we'll find an M somewhere in here, human. A little bit bigger. It's about a 10.5-point font versus Times New Roman for the lowercase. So a fairly readable font, not to mention just the overall layout is going to make it very easy to read, right? You have these kind of shorter sections, which make it easier to kind of get through. You have plenty of margin, which makes it easy on the eyes. The leading is spectacular, kind of the spacing between the lines is very nice. The organization is very nice, very well laid out. Perfect, page color choice. Really, I have no complaints. Not to mention the 3-ribbon markers is great because, you throw one in the M'Cheyne reading plan. You throw one on the day that you're on, and then you could throw one on the week that you're on for the the Heidelberg Catechism. So it just, it's nice. It's very well put together. It's very, very well thought out. And certainly, if this is kind of your thing, if you enjoy, liturgies and that sort of thing, I would imagine you would be partial to this. So again, I will post a link down below, so you guys who are interested, you can certainly buy it. Otherwise, Bible Buddies, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please don't ask me any questions about liturgy. I have no idea. If you have any comments on liturgy, I will gladly read them. If you could also like, comment, subscribe, all that cool YouTube stuff, it would be much appreciated. Until next time, Bible Buddies. Bye.